everyone. Thank you very much for coming. Can you hear me with this microphone? Thanks very much for coming. I know there are great talks going on right now too. I hope that it will be helpful for you to do the same things in your countries that I'm doing in Poland with involving feminists in the animal rights movement. Today I will talk about how I involve feminists from Poland to join the animal rights movement and to care about our cause. I will present to you the talk that I usually give to feminists in Poland, which consists of an introduction, some interconnections that I see in the summary. Afterwards, I will show you some further ways in which I involve feminists and some lessons that I've learned while doing so. So for those of you who don't know me, as my friend said, I'm director of the Albert Schweitzer Foundation in Poland, and where I lead a team of very dedicated women, only women. We're doing corporate outreach, consumer education, and many other things. And Karolina here from our foundation is in the first row. And some of them are over there in other talks. I'm also a member of the main council of the Women's Congress, which is the main place where I connect animal rights and women's rights. And I've been involved in the animal feminist and LGBTQIA movement for about 15 years, but working professionally for animals only for 2. So the reason I'm giving this talk is that I deeply believe that animals need all the allies they can get. Sometimes these allies aren't obvious, but it's really important to bring people into the movement who already have experience as activists, people who have expertise in being activists, who know other people, who have talent, connections, and can help us do better things for animals with their expertise. And this presentation shows how I have used some of these tactics to involve feminists in Poland in the struggle for a greater respect for animals. By showing you the arguments that I have used to involve both prominent feminists and regular feminist activists to fight for animals, I can hopefully inspire some of you to do the same things in your country. And of course, I'm open to questions afterwards to help you get started if you want to do the same. So why should feminists fight for animal rights? When I speak to feminists, to them at first it doesn't seem obvious, but once I show them the same values and goals that we have, it becomes obvious right away that we have so much in common. I ask them why it's in the best interest of women to have better animal protection laws and greater respect for animals in general in society. I tell them what the common motives are in women's struggle in society and to fight animals in society, because there are many connections here. I ask how our position is similar and show them some interconnections. I also show them what connects our 2 movements. And the main things that I point to are the same values that we're driven by, and the common burden that we have on animals as women, and the same enemy, which I believe is patriarchy. And we also have the same goal, which is ultimately freedom from suffering and better dignity and respect for all. So therefore, solidarity between our 2 movements is necessary for both of the movements to win their cause. And this I will hopefully prove to you by showing you the interconnections that I see. I group these into 4 areas. Of course, they can be grouped in many, many ways, but this is just to simplify to show you some of the main connections. So the first one I will speak about is objectification, then violence, and language, which to me is a bridge that connects the 2. So it connects objectification and makes violence possible. And finally, inconvenience is also a big connection. Beginning with the first one, objectification. In general, those who are stronger in society take away the objectivity of those who are weaker. And sometimes just the fact that they are weaker is a very excuse to use them. So men in general objectify women in society, especially in public spaces, by turning them into sexual objects, and humans objectify animals. This is what we call speciesism and patriarchy, so it's kind of an analogy, the 2. And usually it's bodies which are objectified. So women are portrayed as sexual objects, like I said. This is especially visible in advertisements, and I will show you many examples in a moment. As you know, female bodies can advertise absolutely anything we can imagine. So even when it's not connected to the female body itself, it can be beer, it can be suits, it can be cars. You've probably seen many of these commercials. And many times female body parts are shown up close, as if they didn't belong to the woman, to the human being that she is, as if they were something separate, or as if she consists of these body parts only. And of course, women are also used as props, they are judged by their looks, by whether they are mothers or not, whether they're in an age that's still attractive for men, and historically also how useful we were, so whether we were good cooks, good childbearers, good cleaners, so on. And you've probably seen women as props, as hostesses, or sexualized images of women in music videos. And some examples I wanted to show you. The first one is a Polish commercial, and it actually translates into "she knows what will be in her mouth in a second." And this is a commercial of an energy drink. And fortunately, these people had to pay a fine for having that commercial. It was taken off. But many, many other commercials that you probably have in your own countries as well that you've seen are just not taken away. They're not fined. There are no consequences for portraying women in this way. So here are some more examples of objectification of women in public spaces. And some of these are commercials that you may know because they're international. I'm quite sure you have examples of these in your countries. And one that is particularly striking, I think, is the one on the right, because it's actually a social ad. So you would imagine that this would be more sensitive, that people who prepare social ads and are fighting for different causes, very important, would be more sensitive to issues like this. But I'm not sure if you can see it well, but it actually says becoming a donor is probably the only way you can get inside her, or your only chance of getting inside her. So this is supposed to promote being a donor, and they figured this would be the best way to do it. Some other commercials here, probably typical examples of commercials of cars and so on. And this one is especially interesting. This is a meat shop, actually. So I think this is a Polish example, although I'm not sure anymore because it's a very old one. But for some reason, the owner of this meat shop figured that he would sell better his meat products by showing a female body. So some parallels that I want to talk about are how bodies are objectified. And these examples are well known to feminists. It's not really obvious to them. But what is not obvious to them oftentimes is that it's absolutely analogical, the way that animals are portrayed and how they are objectified. And the way that they are treated like things, like products by humans in society, just like we are treated as products, as things by men. So animals can be consumed, they can be used for clothing, for experiments and circuses, for entertainment of any kind. And ironically, they also appear in commercials. Oftentimes it's very happy chickens, very happy cows who are happy to give up their bodies for us, or products of their bodies for us. They dream of being eaten or of being giving up their own eggs and milk for humans. So in general, what I say to feminists is that both women and animals live in systems of violence where our bodies serve somebody else in a slightly different way, but a very illogical way. And if we allow any group or species to be objectified this way, we pretty much allow the process itself to happen. So even if one day we manage to end objectification of women in society fully, if we still allow it towards animals, one day or another it will come back to us, either to us or to some other animal. That's what I try to convince feminists to believe. And then I show them some examples of objectification of animals in advertisements. So the next slide shows a very old one, where a pig is actually killing itself or herself to give up her body for humans. Of course, there are many, many commercials of cows that you probably all know. Happy cows giving up their milk, or happy cows encouraging to drink milk, which is healthy for children, oftentimes. The same mechanisms are at work here. So the process of objectification is denying somebody's ability to think, to feel, to need, to have bigger needs than just the basics. And women are often viewed as being closer to animals. We're biologized in many ways. We're full of instincts. We're closer to animals than we are to men, so to human beings, therefore. We're denied rationality. We're said to be guided by hormones, by instincts, such as a maternal instinct. And this also makes us closer to animals than to men in many contexts. And this leads to us being thought of in many cultures, of course, animal cultures, as being worse leaders, not capable of taking on important roles, even not having some math and IT talents and so on. or being bad drivers even. So this can get very absurd, and it's very much linked to how we're viewed and how we're biologized. And of course, we can be better drivers if we head out or grow hair. So then we'll be fine. And our language actually shows how much everything that is feminine can be kind of downplayed, while what is manly, what is connected to men is better. So therefore, manning up or growing a hair is something good. And in the Polish language, there are many examples which show this as well. I'd be very interested to hear if in your countries and your languages you have some examples like that as well. So like I said, when I talk to feminists, I show them how society denies that animals have needs, they have intelligence, empathy, and they are sentient beings, kind of like we do towards women. And the treatment of both women and animals shows that there is security in society, which to me goes like this, that men are at the very top, there are others, women and children, and at the very bottom there are animals. So we can observe this in many situations, and I'd like to show you some examples of advertisements that manage to do both at the same time, so they manage to affect both women and animals at once. Girl power on the left. At the bottom in the right, this means, the translation reads, protects nutritional values from the sun. And then at the top, if you want Karolina Skowron, this is actually commercially slaughterhouse, it's a website. So, for some reason, owners of this slaughterhouse believe that connecting with vegan with animals will encourage people to eat these animals. And a recent example from last weekend in a small town, but a famous town in Poland, Katowice, Poland. These are some local souvenirs that you can buy. They're like pictures made on wood, and as you can see, there are naked women portrayed as sexual objects next to images of violence towards animals. So this is not just advertisements that you see like on television, but this is also like local folklore and local souvenirs that you can see all over the place. This is a very recent example from last weekend. And I guess we all wish it was more like this, where we spoke about the parts that are neglected to mention that animals are conscious sentient beings. They have feelings, they have needs that we often don't talk about. And now I'd like to move to language, which, like I said, is a bridge for me between objectification and violence that I will talk about afterwards. So the first step to justifying violence is to objectify someone. When you take away somebody's dignity, somebody's rights, it becomes okay to hurt them, just because you cannot hurt things. So when somebody is always less than, when somebody is always a product of thing, there's no way to hurt them. It becomes okay to do this. And oppressive language towards women and towards animals is a kind of inevitable element of the patriarchal society, where women are portrayed as sexual objects, like you said, and animals are things that we use. So in essence, both are products. Probably animals even more so than women and their bodies. And what I'd like to talk about with language is that it has a way of kind of belittling harm that is done to both women and animals. There are many, many sayings, many words in many languages, because I've asked people from other countries to also give me some examples. I will show you some English examples of language and what it does to belittle harm, but I have even more in Polish, and I'm sure you have your own. So towards women, you will often hear women are harassed. Boys will be boys, and don't be so dramatic. It's only a compliment. Where's your sense of humor? And he's basically a good guy. And even when it comes to rape, there are questions like, what was she wearing that night? Are you leaving here? Sometimes she was asking for it. It's just what men do. So it's a way of justifying violence, especially maybe not rape, but harassment, everyday harassment can lead to rape in the long run, into a sexual rape culture. And analogically, when I show this to feminists who are fully aware of the language and its issues, I ask them whether humane killing or species regulation that hunters use, or even bringing animals, culling them meat, culling them fur, counting them in kilos and tons instead of as individuals, is this not the same language of oppression? It's also not making them products of things and taking away their subjectivity. But also, what's interesting is that there are offensive animal names, which we usually use towards women. There are exceptions, some are used towards men, but mainly if you look at the most popular languages at least, you will find that many women are called cows, bitches, hens, bears, pigs, donkeys, chickens, and so on. In Polish, for instance, there's this offensive saying calling somebody a house hen or a home hen, pretty much means portrays a woman who stays at home with children and who means nothing in society. There are also offensive animal qualities and activities. In English, this can be, for instance, barking, yapping, being bitchy, and any vulgar words and expressions that you can imagine. In Polish, I can think of more examples as well. So this is kind of this happens in all languages. It's universal. Again, like I said, this is used mainly towards women. So the big question is why are animal qualities offensive in the first place? Just like feminine qualities are offensive. Like rationality, which is associated with men, is more important than emotionality, for instance, which is associated with women when we talk about stereotypes, of course. So by pointing this out, I'm trying to show that contempt towards women and animals goes hand in hand. It's always in common. It always goes together. Sometimes we can use this language towards our advantage, and feminists in Poland have done this. There's this big group, the Women's Strike, and they've used this image and this expression of the home hen that I just mentioned to their advantage by saying, "Become a women's strike hen, come and lay a petition." So this was an invitation to join a very big protest for abortion law and to sign a petition in favor of it. And now I'd like to move to violence, the third interconnection. And research has really shown by now very strongly that domestic violence towards women and towards children is very strongly connected to violence towards animals. Not just domestic animals, animals in general, although most research points to domestic violence. And I won't have time to go into the details of each piece of research, but I'll just show you, point you to some examples that you can dig into deeper. For instance, animal abusers are 5 times more likely to commit violent crimes against people. This has been proven by the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. The American Psychiatric Association uses animal cruelty as one of the diagnostic criteria of conduct disorder because they have seen that this always shows them and they can predict many things based on this. Dr. Frank Asio, back in 1995, which he constantly keeps improving in many other pieces of research, has shown that 71% of battered women in the shelters that were researched have had situations where their partner had threatened to harm their domestic animal or has actually done it. What's interesting, FBI profilers also use animal abuse as an indicator to predict violent behavior towards human beings, especially women, especially children. Slaughterhouse employment in a given area increases the total number of arrest rates, and these arrest rates are mainly for very violent crimes, mainly sexual crimes towards women. So this includes rapes, this includes domestic violence. Of course, in comparison with other industries. And 70% of people who have committed violent crimes against animals have also committed other violent crimes against human beings, mainly women, because mainly women are victims of these crimes. And this is also done by the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So I wonder what it's like in other countries. I'd love to ask you afterwards, but in Poland and in some other countries I've looked at, it's very, very difficult for victims of violence to get help. This concerns both women and animals. So, women are often not listened to, or they're ashamed to talk about rape or other violence that they've been victims of. And also, animals obviously can be filed lawsuits, so they need somebody to do this for them. And in Poland, when violence towards both women and animals is actually brought to the attention of the judicial system, once it happens, it's often dismissed, either because there's not enough evidence of what has happened, or it's considered a petty crime, not important enough to proceed. And when actually this happens, when it is brought to the attention of the judicial system, crimes against animals, almost always women are the ones who bring this to their attention. So I've spoken to lawyers in Poland who have cases like this, and 90% of the time it is women who actually bring this to attention, which I don't think is a coincidence either, that women are more interested in the fight of animals. And also, interestingly, as part of the violence towards their partners, abusers often hurt domestic animals as well, or threaten to hurt them. And this is kind of a psychological part of the violence towards their partners. So because many shelters for women in Poland at least cannot accept animals, they accept women alone or women with children. Large numbers of women stay home with their abusers to protect their companion animals because they're afraid they would be killed otherwise. So this is another element of violence that they encounter. And what I'm trying to say here when I speak to feminists is that violence is absolutely universal. So it is caused by the perpetrator's sense of power over the weaker victims, and also a sense of that they will not be punished. And the mechanisms of this violence are the same no matter who the victim is. So I try to encourage feminists to think in this way that if we want to end violence towards women, we have to end violence in general, because it's all interconnected. And the next thing I'm going to talk about may be slightly controversial, so please bear with me. Some of you may disagree with this, but violence is gendered in society towards women. But if you take a closer look at factory farming, you'll also see that female animals are treated a bit differently than male animals because of their sex. And the tortures they go through are different. They can include forced insemination, as well as continuous pregnancy or taking away babies without consideration for the mother's pain. And female animals are therefore objectified on an even greater scale than male animals because they're not just consumed but also used as incubators, as producers. So their bodies are not just consumed in the end, but also before the elements of their bodies or what they produce is used as products. Some examples include cows milking, laying hens in cages, or placing crates. And this is absolutely not to say that male animal suffering is any less important than female. I'm just trying to point to the fact that there are differences, and that here gender also plays a role. And finally, the last interconnection I'd like to mention is inconvenience. It is extremely inconvenient for men to acknowledge the full equality of women in society, because if they did, this would mean fewer privileges for them and more obligations. And this includes actually men who call themselves feminists. If you take a closer look at them, at their private lives, oftentimes you'll see that full equality is not actually there yet, and it's difficult at home, for instance, at chores and so on. So this would mean, if men were to acknowledge the full equality of women, this would mean, for instance, equal pay, it would mean comparative hirings, high penalties for violence, and inevitable penalties for violence, and absolutely no tolerance for harassment that is so everyday that we're so used to it becomes almost invisible. And like I mentioned, true equality of women. And I asked feminists, is it not the same with animals? What if we all accepted, all of us human beings, that animals are not just capable of suffering, but much, much more? That they are full subjective beings who have their very complicated needs, perhaps as complicated as our own, perhaps different, but they do have an internal life, a social life, emotions. Would this not mean that we have to change our diet, change what we do for entertainment, change our clothing, change all of our everyday habits pretty much? And what I'm trying to say here is that this is not inconvenient just for the animal products lobby or the industries, like the meat industry or the animal products industry, but for society as a whole. Completely acknowledging the full subjectivity of animals is inconvenient for those of us. Just like so, we have to end objectification in general in society for it to work for every single group. And to summarize these four interconnections, I think the aim of both of our movements is to minimize suffering, to provide dignity and respect for all who have been deprived of it, who deserve it. So animals, women, and many, many other groups, because this is just an example. This can be compared to many other groups who are discriminated against in society. So it's not just our position in society as women and as animals and guiding values that connect us, but everything that we go through is interconnected. Like I've shown, is objectification, is language, violence, and inconvenience. And I really believe that we depend on one another. As a fellow feminist, I always urge you to join and support the animal rights movement. This is what I say to feminists when I speak to them. And I asked them to do it not just only with solidarity, but in their very own interest. And because I'm speaking to a different crowd here and trying to show you what I say to feminists, I'd also encourage you to get interested in feminism, because we still need more feminism in the animal rights movement. And in the efforts to end oppression in general, we have to look at the whole society and all kinds of oppressions. So this talk I just presented is one that I give to feminists, but it's just one of the elements that I try to include them in the movement. There are many, many other things that I do in Poland that you can copy in your countries if you like. These are some examples. I don't have time to go into detail on all of them, so I'll just jump into one example that's recently probably the most important. And this is the Animal Center at the Women's Congress in Poland. The Women's Congress is the largest social movement in Poland at the moment. And it consists of many events, many activities, but what they're famous for is one big event, which is annual. It happens once a year. There are up to 5,000 attendees there. And there are debates, lectures, and workshops on women's rights, and they're grouped into centers. This is between 10 and 20 centers. This year is going to be 14, last year was 20. This can be anything from women politics, health, equal pay, and all the problems that you often talk about in feminist studies. And until recently, there was no center connected to animals. There was a green center, which sometimes talked about animals in a certain context, mainly connected to humans and to the environment in general. But last year, we managed to set up a farmed animal, or an animal center, which was mainly focused on farmed animals, also on some other animals. This was last year, 2018. It was the first animal center at the Women's Congress, and it consisted of 4 debates mentioned here. The first one was this very talk that I'm giving to you now. It was presented to feminists, and then we talked about other areas where women are very involved in the animal rights movement. And interestingly, of course, it took a very long time to convince the Women's Congress to actually have an animal center. At first, the year before that, it was, they didn't agree because they thought this would be very exotic, very unpopular, that nobody would actually attend. And when this began the first debate last year, at first there were 5 people in the room in the first 2 minutes. So we were terrified that actually they were right, that nobody would be interested, that women are just not interested in this topic at all, that we were just wrong about this. But about 2 minutes into the debate, the crowd started to pour in. And they were so large that they didn't fit into the room. There was a huge queue going around the whole theater and the whole hall. And it just exceeded expectations completely, both our own and the Women's Congress. And it turned out to be one of the largest audiences of all the centers that year. So this means that we will continue with the Animal Center, and this year we will plan another one. Because women turned out to be extremely interested in the topic, and kind of like they sensed, intuition-wise, they completely understood these arguments. They were open to them. Even the controversial ones, or the ones which seem controversial at first, are quite obvious to about 80 or 90% of the women who listen to it. That's why I really encourage you to speak to women, especially to feminists, because it's a great audience to include in our animal rights movement. And this year, I'm happy to say that we'll have a next animal center at the Women's Congress next month, so I invite you all if you're here. It's on the 20th and the 21st of September. And actually this year it's even more important than last year. We managed to have animal rights as part of the 3 main themes of the year in this Congress. Every year they have 3 main themes. One of them this year is environmental protection, but this includes animal rights, and there's a big focus on it. And the Women's Congress has also adopted a very progressive animal rights program that I wrote, and actually I didn't make them adopt it, they asked for it. So following the Animal Center last year, we managed to do this and to actually make them care enough to have an animal rights program. And very, very good news is that catering will be 100% vegan for the whole event this year. Not the Animal Center, but the whole Women's Congress. And this is because last year, even though we asked for vegan options, there were none. So all these attendees, about 200 people who went to the Animal Center who were mainly vegan, had nothing to eat pretty much. So we had to find restaurants all over the place and get discounts there for them. And we were very, very sad about this because we spoke the year before and tried to explain what veganism is and how important it is and how it's in line completely with what we're doing. So this year I managed to convince the Women's Congress board that if we weren't 100% vegan with the catering, this would not be in line with what we're actually saying and kind of preaching in this animal sector and in the animal rights program. And I was elected to the Women's Congress main council, working at a voice for animals within the movement. So it's a good news as well. And like I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm also trying to put some more feminism into the animal rights movement because it should go both ways. Many of you have probably heard of the Vegan Ladyboss club, which is in many countries in the world. It began in the States. Now it's in about, I think, 15 countries. I think I don't know wrong. Some European countries and the US, and in Poland there was no group like this. It's meant to kind of build sisterhood among women activists in the movement and to encourage us to support each other and to bring more empowerment to women in the movement in general. So the first meeting was a few months ago, and so many women appeared, as you can see. Some of them are leaders of organizations, some are lawyers for animals, some are businesswomen who have like vegan restaurants, for instance. And we all connected and we built this kind of network of helping each other out. Our second meeting was last month. In general, the Vegan Ladyboss mission is to, like you said, support and empower women. And you can set up groups in other countries. It's very, I think, beneficial to show women in the movement that we should really support each other, not fight each other, because that will lead to so much more. And to sum up, I'd like to share just some lessons that I learned while encouraging feminists in Poland to embrace animal rights. It wasn't easy at first, and I would like to propose that you don't ask for everything at once when you do approach feminist organizations. I learned this because the year before in the first animal center, I wanted one as well. I approached the leader of the Women's Congress, and she thought I was crazy in general. She said, well, I know animal rights are important. Of course, I agree. I love my dog very much, but this is dedicated to women's rights, and the animal center, maybe 5 people would go. I don't really think this is important enough. What I managed to do instead was that there was a big debate on the main stage about ecofeminism in general. And I was given 5 minutes there to talk about animal rights and show this comparison. And I kind of asked her, okay, if people like this, how about we do an animal center next year? And she said, okay. And they did like it. So the women they reacted quite positively. They asked questions, they wanted to hear more, and that's why we were able to have the animal center. So although I'm saying don't ask for everything at once, but ask bravely. Even when it seems exotic at first, in a given group or circumstance, I think you'd be very surprised with the good reactions, and I think women are really ready to hear this. Of course, in America or in some English-speaking countries, this topic is well known and has been well known since the 80s. But in Poland, for instance, in many countries in Europe, it has not been created before. The connections have not been made publicly in that topic. It's really worth doing. I would also advise you to find a prominent person within the movement who already cares about animals and helping. So this person I mentioned, she loved animals very much. She still loves animals, but she was focused on companion animals, on her dogs that she rescued, so on. So it took some time to have a few lunches, vegan lunches with her and some coffees, and show her that farmed animals are important as well. And she did, after a while, begin to hear about this, and now she's open to vegan catering, for instance, for the Women's Congress. So what I'd like to say, if you're a fellow feminist and animal lover, use all these arguments that I've shown you, take them, evolve them, and involve your feminist circle to participate in the animal rights movement, and vice versa as well, because more feminism is needed in the animal rights movement as well. And I'd like to encourage you as well to connect other movements to a larger ally base, because feminism is just one area where we can do this. I'm absolutely certain that the LGBTQIA movement, for instance, or other human rights movements have many of the same goals, many of the same values they can build on. Kind of analogically like I've done with feminists, depending on where you're involved. Maybe some of you are also activists in other areas. I think it's a great idea to connect us. And importantly, research has shown that activists in one field are much more likely to become activists in another. And of course, they can use experience, their talent, their connections to help us as well. And this can be important for both the movements, I'm picturing. So find similarities, find common goals, to get more support and to find the effective farming all cruelty to these animals in patriarchy. And I'd like to end with my favorite quote to talk about veganism is to threaten the pillars of patriarchy by one of my favorite authors. I really recommend this book. Many of the ideas are from this book. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can approach me afterwards or ask now.
How do you respond like to put humans first and not the animals first, like situations like comparing humans or humans to animals is the way that you first.
Yeah, that's the first reaction. That's usually the first reaction that I hear. And what I try to point to then is that it's a mechanism that has kind of the same, that's universal. So what you do when you have objectification in society towards one group, it's just possible as a phenomenon. So if you objectify animals, you can objectify women, you can objectify other groups. That's what I try to point to. I'm also careful with language. So for instance, depending on which crowd I speak to, I either use or do not use the word rape, for instance. When I speak to more radical feminist crowds, I sometimes say that that is part of the rape culture, forced insemination towards female animals. When I speak to more liberal crowds, less radical, I try not to use the language of rape, for instance, because someone may be offended by this, by the connection. I don't find it offensive, but I understand that some people do, and I think it's maybe not a good idea to use language that can turn people away right away and make them enemies instead of make them listen and see the connections. So I just try to point to the same mechanism. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. In the beginning, when we started our organization, I started to animal rights organization around the world, and I was shocked with the things that Peter were doing. And to be honest, I was like, I would take a step back, like I didn't know anything about the term feminism or the term rights or welfare or even, but when I saw that they have this pictures for the models and they start doing the cutting, and I said, this is not the animal rights movement that I want to be about.
I try not to judge other organizations, but I think what PETA is doing in some of their advertisements is really not the right approach. Of course, it will get attention in the short term because sex gets attention and female bodies brings attention to the cause, but in the long run, if you use one oppression to fight another oppression, it just doesn't work, and you lose allies that you could have otherwise. So all these women, all the feminists who could join the cause when these commercials like this, I think they can turn away from the animal rights movement. So I don't think it's the right way to go. I agree with
you. Yeah, just wondering if you mentioned the idea of like different movements being able to help each other and share lessons and that sort of thing. Wondering if you were aware of like particular things that you've seen in a feminist context that you think is lacking in the animal advocacy space, or the other way around, like particular tactics or just like ways that the movement is organised or anything like that.
But they're not used in the other movement.
Yeah, or just underused, not used enough, or that sort of thing.
My general impression is that the animal rights movement is like the most developed and most innovative movement that I've seen so far. When I compare it to the feminist movement in Poland, for instance, I think they're very behind in thinking about effectiveness. And I think effective altruism is something that we could give to other movements, both the feminist movement and the LGBTI movement, because these are the three I've been involved in, so I can compare them, at least in Poland. So, for instance, the feminist movement in Poland is very focused on organizing debates, and there's lots and lots of talk, lots of discussions, lots of debates, but there's no, maybe not no, but little attempts to have systematic change. There's lots of protests, lots of discussions, but for instance, corporate outreach, something that we do with the animal rights movement, perhaps could be used with something with the other movements. However, the movements like feminism and LGBTQIA are probably more open to other topics and more interested in other areas of life. When we go to the animal rights movement, we tend to focus so much on animals that we kind of forget about the rest of the world. And I think then you kind of lose touch with the rest of society at times. I'm talking about myself as well. Like when I look at my Facebook newsfeed, I see mainly animal rights news. And I know that my fellow feminist activists are different in this sense, so they try to diversify very much and see they're very interested in politics, they're very interested in other areas of life, and see how they can use that in their movements. So perhaps it's something we can learn from them. Just my first ideas, but I need to think about it more. If you have questions later on, you can always send me an email or contact me on Facebook. I'm happy to help.